The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
That's right, you are tuned in to the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Butch Hubbard here with you along with Bob Morgan. Here we are on this Thursday morning. It is the 7th day of February. Bob, I'm talking too loud and fast for you this morning.
I just can't believe time's flying. February 7th already.
All right, world famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by a bunch of fine folks out there. Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Broad Street and Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup. Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street, and also brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. And how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? Good. You got your Super Bowl cap on.
Yeah, Super Bowl hat. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We got ATL Super Bowl 53 up there.
Good trip. Had a good time.
Did you have a good time?
Great time.
Great time.
Fun.
So,
always fun.
I mean, you haven't been, 3 years?
It's been a while.
Yeah, you hadn't gone the last 3 Super Bowls, I know.
Far away. Let's go Super Bowl. So,
yeah. But, on Jim Rome, when he would describe where the Super Bowl was, he didn't say, I'm in Atlanta. He said, I'm in the ATL.
ATL.
I'm in the ATL. And that's what you've got on your cap here. It says ATL. So that must be a new slang term there for Atlanta. I'm in the ATL, man.
Maybe it sounds better than Atlanta.
I don't know. It's cool. It's the end thing to say. I'm going to the ATL, man.
I thought they used to call it Hot Atlanta. So.
Yeah, it used to be Hot Atlanta. Now, when I lived in Aiken, South Carolina all those years, from 1980 to 1992, that's right on the other side of the Savannah River from Augusta. So you've got, Richmond, Augusta, the Savannah River, and then Aiken County, and Aiken was in Aiken County. We were basically considered part of the Augusta area. And, of course, the truck drivers back then, they were driving between Augusta and Atlanta. They would say they were either going to Big A, Atlanta, or Little A, Augusta. So back then, for the truckers, and it may still be today, for the truckers on whatever interstate that is, I-20 up there, it's Big A and Little A. But now it's AM in the ATL.
I just know I don't miss the traffic. I don't know how they deal with it. I told my sister, I don't know how you deal with this every day.
They get used to it. I've talked to folks out there. Well, you just get used to it.
You get used to just sitting there. And
get used to sitting there, not moving.
Just gridlock.
Yeah, just
8 lanes of traffic.
Looking up the rear end of the vehicle in front of you. Great view every single day, going to work and coming home, looking up the rear view. Looking up the rear end of the vehicle in front of me.
I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll pass too.
They can have it.
I mean, I make up excuses not to go to Atlanta. Same thing, different things I could go to, but I just I don't go.
Sisters get on me. And I said I got a niece up there. It's why don't you come and visit? Because of this traffic. That's why.
Yeah. Why don't you move to the south side?
Why don't you come down to the beach? We got the beaches in Jekyll. I'll come down there. But it's just a rat race up there. It's crazy.
It is. You're either going 18 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour. One of the two,
It wasn't fun driving in that traffic every day. Like I said, my sister's in Marietta. I had just about a 15-20 minute commute. But,
it's like going to the new SunTrust Park.
Once you hit that interstate, it's like, I felt like I was getting ready for the Daytona 500.
I know it does, doesn't it? That's the reason why they passed that Georgia law that, speeding doesn't count.
I don't know why they post speed limit signs there, because no one's doing the speed limit.
If you're going slower than the vehicles behind you, you are required by law to move over to the right. So let's say that you've got a 4-lane there or 5-lane in one direction now, okay? And you're over there and maybe in one of the left 2 lanes. If those vehicles coming up behind you, and I don't care if they're going 90 miles an hour and they're breaking the speed limit, you're the one that will get pulled over for going slower in the faster lanes. So they consider traffic flow, even traffic flow, safer than going the speed limit.
Next time we get Luther in here for the Georgia Department, I'm going to ask him, how fast you have to be going before the state trooper takes off, because I saw a bunch of state troopers there when people just, they're not doing the speed limit.
Oh, no.
I wonder how far you go above the speed limit before they said, you know what, we need to go give that guy a ticket.
Now, if a person is weaving in and out of traffic, that's a safety issue there. But as long as the flow's going, if I don't care if it's going 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, as long as the traffic flow in those left two lanes are flowing together, that's safer than someone going the speed limit. Not breaking the law, but going the speed limit. So actually, they will pull that person over first for going the speed limit for breaking the flow of traffic. That law was passed a few years back, and I guarantee it was because of Atlanta. I don't know where else around here you'd have it, but that's what you got to do, Bob. They consider traffic flow a bigger safety issue than speeding. It probably is. That's the reason why they passed it.
When I got past making it on 16, because it kind of slowed down after that.
Yeah, get on 16. Yeah.
Once you hit 75, 85.
It's a mess. 16 used to be a dead zone.
It's the Daytona 500. So it was crazy.
It used to be when you drove from Macon to Savannah on 16. I mean, it was just like, nothing out there. Of course, now it's different as things have grown up along through there. I remember when 16 was being cleared out when I was going to the University of Georgia from 72 to 76, because I went up Highway 15. That's how I went. I know there's other routes to take these days. Some people go up 169 and hit the interstate early and then go up that way. Some go through Washington. To me, it's not going to Athens unless you're going up 15. Right. I mean, I did it for all those years. I don't care if it takes 15 or 20 minutes longer, I'm still going up 15. That is, you got to stop at the dairy lane in Sandersville. You have to do it. That's a tradition from South Georgia. Now, you don't stop at it coming down because it's only 90 minutes away from Athens, but going up, you've got to stop at the dairy lane and in Sandersville and then head on up. There's just certain things, that you get used to.
I did get to hit the varsity, though, one time.
You did go to the varsity one time?
Okay. I enjoyed that. That's a treat.
Now, if you ever read the stats, one day I was reading the stats on the amount of food they serve there each day and each week and each month and all that kind of stuff. It's just phenomenal.
Let's just have how much money they make in just a day. Because that place was packed, as always. But that's tradition, too, when you go to Atlanta or Athens, varsity.
Did you ever eat at the varsity bunch there in
I used to go
Athens?
one time in Athens, yeah. I mean, I liked the varsity. It's good stuff, so.
Yeah.
But it was right there in Atlanta, so I kept driving by there seeing us. I need to do that one day, so I did that. That was fun.
Okay, good. Did you have designated parking for press?
They just had different lots that you had to get there. Like $20 to park for the day. Wasn't too bad.
Okay. All right.
But they didn't have any designated parking for the media.
But you did have a good time up there meeting and talking with folks and seeing all the stars and so forth.
I said I got to the Super Bowl media night. That was fun. That's always a big event. Like I said, then they had the media party Tuesday, which was fun at the aquarium. Never been. And like I said, the rest of the week you just hang out at Radio Row, get different press conferences, different motels, and hang around Brady and Gronk and all those guys and listen to what they got to say. Have everybody dissect the game. I said they pretty much had it dissected pretty good. They said they thought the Rams front four could get pressure on Brady, which they did. I mean, both defenses played extremely well, but no one expected the Patriot defense to be able to shut down the high-flying offense of the Rams, but they totally did. I mean, that was just a beatdown. They said, I agree with most analysts after the game, that MVP should have went to Bill Belichick and to put together that game plan to shut down the Rams offense.
How does he do it every year? I mean, it's like Nick Saban. Nick Saban loses all these assistants, his offense coordinator, defensive coordinators, recruiters. I mean, I think they say this last year he lost 13 coaches and moving up the ladder, and Belichick's the same thing.
Just a great coach. Wish he had a better personality, but I still that story. I was proud of myself when he came to Jacksonville. I said, I'm going there, I'm going to ask a question. I asked him a good question. I still don't know. I've listened to it 1,000 times. I don't know what he said.
Still know what he said.
He answered it. That's a great question, too. I watched the whole game. I said, I got to come up with a good question.
Right. They got a good question
They
for
shut
Bill.
down Gronkowski. Only had one catch. So I said, Coach, did Jacksonville's defense do anything particular to shut down Gronkowski? I told everybody he answered it, but I don't know what he said. I've listened to it. I've had Jonathan slow it down.
We've even sent it to the GBI to get them to. They can't figure out what he said.
I still have no idea what he said. So I stayed clear of him up there in Super Bowl week. I did get to talk to Sean McVay that asked him a couple questions at Super Bowl night. I
Sean's
really
from
Marist
High School. Won a state championship as a quarterback.
Won a state championship, was Quad A Player of the Year that year.
Yeah.
Beat out Calvin Johnson at Georgia Tech. He's just real friendly guy, very very engaging. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him. So.
Yeah. Well, before the game, they always interview the two coaches that come out on the field, and first Bill Belichick, like that 1-2 sentence answer, poor reporter, and then you go over to McVay, and he's having a great time. He's just talking to the reporter, the young enthusiastic coach.
But he owned it after the game. He said he got out-coached, and like I said, Jared Goff, the quarterback of the Rams, just looked like a deer in headlights all night. He was totally befuddled on the defense that the Patriots threw at him. So, and plus Gurley just didn't look like he was healthy. They kept saying he's going to kid. I don't know what's going on with him, but I still say him take some kind of knee surgery in the off season, try to get healthy. But all week long they kept saying he wasn't. Maurice Jones-Drew, the former Jaguar running back, he does radio for LA Rams.
Oh, he does? Okay.
And he kept being asked, what's wrong with Gurley, He kept saying Gurley just had a bad day in the NFC Championship game, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's something wrong with Gurley's knee, and he just wasn't 110% because they didn't feature him hardly at all.
Well, they not only did not feature him, but every time he got the ball, they knew that he was going to. Every time he got out there, they figured that he was going to run it. So there was no holes for him. There was no holes for him.
Even when he hit open field, he didn't have that burst that he had on gas. So he just didn't look himself. So that to me was a big story all week. What was they kept saying he was fine. He kept saying he was fine, but watching him, he's not fine. So I look for him to have some kind of surgery in the off season for his knee. But that was a big part of the game because he was such a big impact player all year long. He had an MVP type season, but he just got sitting there riding a stationary bike during the championship game. You knew something was wrong. And like I said, you figured 2 weeks he might come back 110%, but he just wasn't. He wasn't himself. So.
Well, hopefully during the off season, the NFL teams have got the very best physicians and health professionals to help these athletes. So hopefully we can get back to 100% by next season.
It's going to be interesting. The Falcons. Matt Ryan was there on the radio. Atlanta did a good job. They got with Arthur Blank and the Falcons. They had all these, down. The Falcons were showing up everywhere, signing autographs.
Oh, were they?
Devontae Freeman, Matt Ryan. So, they did a good job of that. But Matt Ryan, he just basically stated when I talked to him, they just got decimated by injuries. Don't want to make excuses, but when you use linemen and receiving everywhere you turned around, they had an injured player. So they're looking to bounce back and have a good year this year. So. But the Jaguars got the big decision in Bortles. Soon they're going to have to release Bortles. They keep saying Nick Foles from the Eagles, maybe the quarterback Joe Flacco of the Baltimore Ravens. They're definitely going after some quarterbacks. Going to be interesting how this offseason in the NFL goes. It's 24/7, but that's the next free agency. Who's going where. Yeah. It's going to be interesting how it all shapes up for next year.
Well, let's hope Coughlin can put those deals together and get that good quarterback in for the Jaguars this next season.
Devontae Freeman said that they're going to get to the Super Bowl. That's his hometown of Miami. The Super Bowl next year is in Miami, so that's where he wants to go. So, but he says the Falcons will be back.
All right. The Falcons will be back. What do you think he's going to say? We're going to be a lousy team next year. What do you think? But that's got to be interesting. Did Greg hang out with you most of the time you were there?
Yeah. He had a death in the family later in the week, but he was there most of the week. So, like I said, we had 3 or 4 days together, so it was good.
Well, have you got the pictures posted anywhere or anything? You got them on your phone?
I got them on my phone. I got to figure out how
you can give the phone to Jonathan. He can post a few of them on our webpage.
He's already done.
He's already done that?
I sent all the pictures to Jonathan.
Oh, okay, good.
I was able to forward those all week long, so he's already got all those on the website.
Good. So. All right. Bob's Great Adventures in the ATL at Super Bowl 53.
Good week.
See your shirt. Did you get that shirt to match your cap? It's perfect. You got red and gray shirt, an Armor All shirt.
That's good.
That's got a color Armor All.
Jonathan's always killing me for not being color coordinated. So.
See, just coordinate. Your sisters will be proud of you this morning. Okay, if any of Bob's sisters, and how many you have? Like 10 of them.
10, no, 4.
All right, 4.
Don't give me more than I need. 4.
Well, 10-4. I mean, what's the difference? So you got the sisters who are always on you about the way you look on the air.
Always on me.
Yes, always on you. But, they don't understand that you just get up, throw on whatever around you, come in, do your news and sports, then you go back home, then you shower and put on your good clothes, and you go out and do your news and sports.
I don't wake up till 9 o'clock. I tell my sleepwalk everything. They get on me for how I dress, how I look. They just...
Well, the sisters, what do you expect?
And
hey, sister. Hey, how you doing out there in Seattle?
She's not in Seattle. She's in Virginia.
No, I'm talking about mine.
Yours.
Yeah. Ask Bob. Well, let me read the question first. Okay. Well, we're having such fun. I don't know if I want to ask this question. We're having a blast here talking about Bob's great adventures in the ATL. But we do encourage folks to text in questions during the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO FM in Jesup. Our regular business line is text-enabled at 912-427-3711, 912-427-3711. And the question or comment should pop right up here on the computer screen, and this one did. And I know you reported on this while you were in the ATL. What happened, Bob? This question is, ask Bob, what happened with the girls' softball coach?
Got let go. Got replaced.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
That's all you know.
Yeah.
So they just wanted to make a change. I mean, he's been successful there from what, I believe.
Successful coach, good hometown kid. Like I said, I've known Dave. I've known Dave for 35 years. Good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes, athletic director made the change. So that's all we've been told.
Okay. That's all we've been told. And that's it. And so a replacement will be made sometime or another.
Sometime.
Yeah, because softball season don't start till.
I think they posted the job already, is what somebody told me. So.
Okay.
I personally hated to see it. Like I said, I like Dave. Like I said, he's been, to me, a very successful coach. 17 and 23 seniors signed scholarships. Just played for the state championship a year ago. So, the word I've gotten from most people is most people involved in the program aren't unhappy with the decision. So say it again now? I said the people involved in the program are not unhappy with the decision.
Oh, they're not unhappy. Okay.
I haven't. I asked Coach Cribb, was there going to be any backlash? He said, no, there's not going to be any backlash. So apparently, and I know last couple of years, some girls that were played as a junior, getting ready for their senior year, did not play their senior year. They went and played other sports. So there's been some, there's something there that I don't know.
That you don't know, but the athletic director knows, and so he stepped in and did what he thought was right.
All I know is the decision's been made to move in another direction, so that's what they're doing. So.
Well, Coach Badry, he had some big shoes to fill when he came in. Didn't he take Coach?
He didn't take Struck off.
Oh, he didn't take Struck off. There was people between there.
They had 2 or 3 between Struck off, and then they finally found Dave, and then they had success again. Like I said, looking at his overall record, when you win 80% of your games and you play for the Final Four out of 6 years, and you win 4 out of 6 region championships, I mean, the record speaks for itself, but it apparently didn't have anything to do with the record.
That's something to do with something else, and that's a personnel decision by the school system, and we cannot.
I tell people all the time, coaches are like pancakes. You can flip them in and out anytime you want. So that's the athletic director's decision. So I mean, he still has a teaching degree. He's still a teacher, but as far as coaches go, there's no contract. There's no whatever. You can, you can flip them in them out like hamburgers. Just athletic director.
Or pancakes, like you said.
Well, Ken Cribb decided to make a change, so he made the change. So.
And that is a personnel decision, so they don't have to tell anybody why they did what they did. And so that's where we are, folks. So
that's the frustrating thing. Like I said, they don't have to give a reason. They just do what they want to do. So.
All right, someone just texted in. It says, Bob, did you get hazard pay for driving in Atlanta?
I wish I did. I could make a fortune. At least it was a safe trip. I told somebody the other day that they talked about, I just got a new car, and I said, I remember just before we went to Dallas, I got a black new Nissan, and I drove to Dallas, and that's the day when they had the ice storm and the snow, and we drove all through the ice, and it was hazard, it was just it was so tense, you just and I got all the way back to Georgia, and was on 19 coming out of Dublin, and boom, a deer hit it and totaled the car.
Made it through the ice storm in Dallas, but couldn't get by the Georgia deer, could you?
Through a whole week of snow, ice, but was feeling good. Come down 19, boom.
Well, they always say most accidents happen on the way home or near home.
But yeah, I got through Atlanta without having any damage to it.
Yeah, that was what, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
It's longer than that, I think.
I know that you and Greg were pretty miserable out there because your hotel was quite a ways away from the.
It had to be before that, because like I said, the one I just turned in was a 2013, so it was before that. So
yeah, it was quite a few. But I remember that ice storm that y'all were in. But luckily, you were in a front wheel drive vehicle, and they drive so much better than a rear wheel drive vehicle does in snow and ice.
I'm not good at driving in snow and ice, but it was amazing. Like I said, we went through that whole week up there in Dallas, and then got all the way back to Georgia. Nice sunshine skies, and boom,
boom, here comes the deer.
So,
and they're just amazed about those things. I mean, I've hit that deer before.
That's the only time I ever hit one, or he hit me. I'd say it hit me. I didn't hit.
Yeah, he just ran.
He just came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Yeah. Well, when you see one go across in front of you, always check to the right or left, because there's usually somebody coming with them, another deer coming with them. But I hit one years ago. It was basically back in '92 when I was coming back and forth, getting ready to buy the radio station. I was staying with Dad at the time, and I hit one just outside of Sylvania, heading towards Statesboro. And it was at night, and I was in our Ford Aerostar van, which was really an Aerostar tank. They were built so well. So outside of Sylvania, I hit one. I'm deep bopping along there, getting out of the city limits, getting up to close to 55, 60 miles an hour. And then, how it is when cars are coming towards you, you can't see very far. And a car came by me. Next thing you know, this deer runs right out for me. I hit that thing, and it sounded like there was body parts going everywhere. And so I figured, oh boy, that's going to make some damage in front of this Ford Aerostar. It didn't. I get out, pull over to the side, and there's just a little bit of deer hide there. And but those things were made like tanks. But that's the only one I've hit. But I've known a lot of folks that have hit them. I know you're driving along there and you see a deer on the side of the road and you keep your eye on it and you make sure. And next thing you know, at that last moment, he just takes off and runs right in the side of your vehicle for some reason. But now we know folks that Bob, grew up in Pittsburgh, but he was not up there old enough to drive. He didn't start driving until he moved to Georgia to Stone Mountain, so he wasn't used to driving in the ice and the snow. I know you still get that from folks.
I don't know if it works or not. Like my uncle, he's a big hunter. He has deer all the time. He sends me these things. They make a whistle sound.
They do. They make a whistle, then you can put it on the outside of your vehicle.
I don't know if that works. He says it does. So he sent them to me, but. Yeah. It didn't work that day.
But you didn't have it on there, did you?
I didn't have it on.
Yeah, you didn't have it on there. But those you got to watch out for them deer. I mean,
they do a lot of damage. So that was a crazy year. But yeah, hazardous pay. That's a good thing in Atlanta. Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to comment on, I meant yesterday, but we gave out of time, but we still have a little more time here, is we received from the senior class of 1960. Now, I know it says Wayne County High School, but really back then it was Jesup High School, okay? But the senior class of Wayne County High School or Jesup High School from 1960, they've got a nice, I'm going to hold it up to the camera here because our Butch and Bob Show is streamed video and audio on BigDogCountry.com. So I'm going to hold it up there to the camera, and you can see the front of it right there. But inside of it, they got everything, tabs for January, February, March, April, all the way through December, with the birthdays of different folks from the class of 1960. And it's got the different names, like, they got in April, there's several of them right there. And it says happy birthday from all your classmates. And then you go on over to the next month, and there's some there. And so this is a great idea for a class. So the Jesup High School, Wayne County High School senior class of 1960 had this made up and is given to each one of their classmates so they can look on there and say, oh, next month, Sherry Curry's got a birthday, So that I've never seen that before, and that's fantastic. And of course, they dropped it off here at the radio station because we put these names on the air as birthdays. Of course, like in February, Harry Thompson had a birthday on the 5th of February. And Tommy Kirkland's got one coming up on the 19th.
I saw the legend Lynn Haas name in there. So he's
Yeah.
class that. So
Yeah,
who
class
put
of
it together. That's
1960.
nice. Yeah.
But that's not. I've never known a class to do that. Now I'm a graduate of Wayne County High School class of 1972. It'd be great if we did something like so. Delane Crawford, let's get this put together now, okay? You know, you've been in charge of everything, so.
I thought you were going to put together.
No. Delane's got all the records. You know, he's the one who, Delane Crawford, he's kept all the records of the reunions. We started with our 10-year reunion. We didn't have a 5-year. We started with a 10-year in 1982, but we've had a reunion every 5 years since then. And but so he's got all the records and the names and all that in a secret location, hidden away. So we, the addresses and phone numbers and all the ins and outs of where our classmates are. But I thought that was a great idea.
It is a great idea. And they did a good job.
They did a good job of putting that together. Looks really good for the Jesup High School class of 1960.
Is that how the school looked back in the 60s? I got a picture of it. Is that what it looked like?
Well, that wasn't when I moved here in 1968. The new school, they combined. I think in '66, I believe it was '66 when Jesup High School, Odom High School, and Scriven High School all combined into one school, Wayne County High School, which was the one on Orange Street there that most of us demolished now, but they're still using parts of it there. And so this must be what the old Jesup High School, I believe, is where the police department is now. I think that's where it was at. Old Jesup High School, we started our high school years. So I don't know. It could be.
Nice rendition.
It is a nice drawing of it. Yeah,
yeah. That's how it looked.
I'll hold it up there to the camera. Okay, but this is, I've never seen this before ever, and I just thought it was a great idea, absolutely great. And we appreciate whoever it was that brought this out here to give it to us, so we can honor these classmates of 1960 from Jesup High School. Well, Bob, we are out of time. All right, have a good day. World famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Also brought to you by the Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street, Women's Health Center on Cherry at Broad Street in downtown Jesup, and by Murphy's Other Supply.
Famous Butch and Bob Show.